Hello everybody. Super good morning to everyone. How's everybody doing? Kevin Chan here again. We are continuing with our journey of completing all the 12 animals for the bridge to 2026. And today we're going to talk about the ox. Right. So how many of you guys are oxes? I see Manuels is around, Packwood is around, Sun Shining is around, PJ Cock is around, Sabrina is around. Right, hopefully you guys are doing fine. Right, there's a bit news in Malaysia. I know yesterday got a bit of a huge news, right? So yeah, I know somebody stabbed somebody in the school, right? So the schoolyard has now become such a scary place with the school children, either choosing to jump or choosing to hug someone else to jump. Right, so very what's in the news? Yeah, no, yeah, that's in the news. Sun Shining, very, oh my god. Right, so no, yeah, no, the school children are getting more scary, right? So anyway, right, so yeah, I know we're going back to the 2026 animal sign, right? So we're gonna look at the little oxy, right? So no, which is the cow. Let me shrink myself down to the smaller version. Right, so and go in and take a look, right? So now, as usual, printing your parture chart, typing Astro can help you with that, right? So that you don't have to get too stuck up with the situation, right? By the way, alright, so just tell you all, all the plotter, the Sensha, the annual Sensha portion, it need to be updated, right? It need to be updated. So no, all the plotter has not been updated yet. They usually we only update it around maybe December, right? So now if right now you open up, you click on the Sensha, it is still displaying 2025 Sensha, which is very normal because right now we are in 2025, right? By the way, the Sensha is not supposed to be updated until like February 2026. That is the official cut into the new year point, right? So you still see the old one. So whatever I'm doing, I'm displaying to you, right? It's all manually calculated. Yes, yeah, there's Formula One, you can manually do everything, right? So your son has the ox in the month and also the year pillar. Good lah, right? So how old is your son? Right, so your Kia Wang, your new name, right? So finally, your day master. Okay, all right. So you're sitting on ox. Right, so now back to this one, right? So print it out, find your 4 animal sign, right? So like Kerwin said that he has an ox, just like this guy, right? So this guy, the ox is in the day pillar, right? So Packpool got ox inside the year and also the month, right? So now the animal sign appearing in different palace or different pillar, as you call it, you got the year, you got the month, you got the day, you got the hour. It just represent different area in your life, right? So we have a video that talk about each of the pillar, and we're going to find out, go and watch the video, right? So if not 4 animal sign, confirm got one of it might be yours, right? So if it's inside, then today's session is something that you might want to spend a bit of a time looking at. If it's not, help me share, help me like, and send it to one of your friends which has ox inside the parture chart. You tell them that, hey, you got an ox inside parture chart, right? So you might want to find this, right? So Kawan is day master and also here was so many ox. Right, so many ox inside. But anyway, right, so go and find your ox, right? So you should have the ox inside, right? So if you have one, then today's session is something that you should be looking at, right? So animal sign, those with the racing flag one are the one that we have done, right? So just in case there are still people who ask, oh, what about my rooster? Go and watch your rooster, right? So those that has been flagged one is already done, right? So you can go back and watch it, right? So today we're gonna take a look. So whatever is left is dragon, we haven't yet, snake we haven't yet, then it's gonna be pig, and also today we're gonna say ox. So another 3 more, right? So which means that it's gonna be Thursday, Friday, Saturday, we're gonna finish the entire package, right? So by the way, for those of you who are in the Telegram, I've already sent out the entire 2026 charts, right? So which include all the animal sign, right? Which include the Qimen for the 2026, which include the Feng Shui for the 2026. Everything that you need about 2026 is inside Telegram. Go and download. Very simple. Okay, right? So every year, there are people who will publish all these kind of things. I'm just one of the guy who publish it, right? So go and take a look. Then with that you can already start planning your 2026. It's pretty simple, right? So a bit early to do that, but never mind. All right, so come, let's take a look, right? So let's take a look at this particular year. This particular year, the ox is consider, I would say that it's consider pretty alright lah. It's considered pretty alright, right? So if we take a look at the negative side, a Sky Warrior, a White Tiger, you get physically hurt every now and then, right? So yeah, for me, my White Tiger is that I go for gym exercise. Yeah, right. So now I go for things like pickleball. So I go play pickleball, then for the next 2 weeks, every single muscle, just the leg muscle actually, the hand muscle doesn't really do any exercise in the pickleball. Right? So because I run around, right? So then the leg very painful. I got ox inside my chart. You see, if got ox inside my chart, I already know what's the effect, right? I go and just face the effect, right? So you got White Tiger, Sky Warrior, right? So wanna get yourself physical harm. So I purposely go physical harm myself. Right? So I go for gym, So like right now, just Monday I only go for gym. So right now the hand is sore. So if I lift my hand up until a certain level, oh damn. Right, yeah, right. So this is basically how you deal with the year. You don't wait until you really get yourself into trouble, right? To get stronger. Yeah, like in a way, it's getting old, right? So when you reach a certain age, right, one of the biggest problem that you have is your muscle start to shrink. So if you don't continue to use the muscle, it will continue to shrink. So that's why you need to do some weight related exercise just to maintain the muscle. All right, so now these are stuff that so now what do you have? You have Jade Hall. This particular year you got Elegant Seal, right? So now, by the way, Jade Hall, Elegant Seal, God don't have also actually doesn't really matter too much. They are what we call artistic passive ability. Those are passive ability, right? So you put it passive ability, which means that they are not very useful when it comes to outright really attacking or doing something. Not very useful, right? So which means that this particular year, actually the ox is kind of useless. Ox is kind of, yeah, this year the ox is kind of useless. So if you take a look next year, next year different. So next year you got the Grandeur Dragon Virtue. Now Dragon Virtue is one of the, at least in the market, is one of the highest problem solving stuff, right? So if ox in life palace, right, don't care about life palace, will you influence us? Yes, don't care about your life palace, right? So life palace and also your conception palace, before you born and after you die, what's the point, right? So no point, right? So worried about things that is in the mortal world, right? So that two palace only works, for some things that's come before and after, right? So if you're still alive, that two palace, useless palace. Okay, back to this one, right? So next year, you got the Dragon Virtue. Now Dragon Virtue is classified or being listed in the practice as one of the highest problem solving star, or you want to call Nobleman star. Nobleman star got many, right? So unbeknown to all of you, Nobleman star actually got many, right? So for those of you who say that, where's my Nobleman star, that one is the market popular Nobleman star is 10 Yi Guiren. So when they say Nobleman star, is actually that version, right? So this is actually a much more powerful problem solving Nobleman star, right? So which means that next year you're gonna become very important. So as the graphic have suggested, you want to call being a sacrificial cow next year. Can, or you want to call being worship next year, also can. So both of them are basically same thing. To me is Cantonese call 變擺上台啦 next year. Next year 變擺上台, right? So because you are the best shield around, right? So best shield around, I can say that, right? So now the entire idea of bridging between 2025 and 2026 is to prepare. Is the preparation part of it. What are the things that you should take a look at it, right? So you want to lose Jade Hall. Jade Hall is one of the stronger energy when it comes to today we say investment. In the olden day, Jade Hall is used to build ancestral hall. So when you have Jade Hall, people come together, they chip in money, buy a piece of land, and then they build the ancestral hall. So ancestral hall means that everybody same surname and can bring their dead people plaque, put it into the ancestral hall so that the energy is concentrated. All right, so basically that's what happened. Right, so now when you have the ancestral hall there, then everybody with the same surname or from the same family tree, right? So now they gathered and they start to develop the piece of land. So can you see that the Jade Hall actually causes appreciation in asset? So that's why, you know, when we look at the Jade Hall today, we say that, oh, you know, asset will appreciate, you know, or investment is going to be great. So if that's the case, you're going to lose the Jade Hall next year. So is it good that this year is time for you to align your portfolio? Your portfolio is an investment portfolio. By the way, an investment portfolio, just don't just look at, you know, just your share market. So, you know, it's the terminology a lot of time give problem to people perception. When you say, oh no, align your portfolio, align your investment, they all think about share market. Now, when we talk about investment portfolio, it includes like how much time do you spend nurturing your next generation. Those are your portfolio. So in the olden day, that is the most important investment is actually your children, because your children is the one who's supposed to take over the farming activity after you are too old to work the farm, right? They are the one who are going to take over your fishing boat if let's say you're too old to go fishing. They are the one who's supposed to take over your carpentry business, you know, if you're too old to make the, you know, furniture anymore, right? So those are called your future. Right, so that's why, you know, you need to right now sit down and align your portfolio. So, you know, whatever portfolio that you have that has to do with future related, it's time for you to sit down and ask yourself, you know, hey, which of the portfolio is long term, which of the portfolio is short term. At least you should know this stuff. Right, which are short-term portfolio, long-term portfolio, right? So recently a friend basically asked that, you know, they said that, you know, EPF, you know, not going to do too well, you know, stuff like that, very worried, you know, should I take the money and go and invest somewhere else, you know? So I asked, you know, if there's anywhere safer than EPF. Do you know anywhere safer than EPF? Safe, huh? Right, I'm not saying that percentage of return is higher, right? So percentage return higher, a lot of places have. Right, so I can give you many, you know, scam deal that has very, very high return. Go ahead. I won't stop you. Right, so, you know, I won't basically stop you with anything when you want to do, right? So yeah, there's a lot of scam investment out there. It's period 9, right? So now period 9 scam is abundant. Even legal one also will become scam, right? So now period 9, you will definitely see a lot of IPO, share offering. You will see that all the share offering basically scam. Scam what happened? Once you buy the share, you found out that the company actually cannot run. Right, so yeah. So, but they meet all the security commission listing criteria, which means that the entire company is propped up by a group of experts. Right? Their expertise is propping up the entire thing and, you know, submitting for the run. So once you buy the share, once you buy into the share, right? So then the shareholder, the initial group that make it, they will exit. No? They exit, you know, they get back their money already and then they make their extraordinary profit. Then, you know, then you found out that the business actually got nobody to run it. No one know how to run the business. The business does not even have a business model to begin with. You will see period 9 a lot of these companies. Right, so you have to be careful. So, oh, then how? Go and study how to study business. Right, so no, align your portfolio, go and take a look. Right now, you need to sit down and basically take a look because you got Jade Hall. Right, so you need Jade Hall, you need to take a look at which is actually, you know, so if you have, let's say, 10 investment, right, so it's time for you to take a look at the ROI of the investment. Which of the investment is worth keeping, which of the investment that is not worth keeping. Right, so, you know, you can do that, right? So you have to do that because, you know, again, next year you will lose out the Jade Hall. You lose out the Jade Hall, you know, send your vision to be able to see the value of the property, right? So get clarification. Conception Palace is about before life. Doesn't matter, right? GG does not matter. I tell you already. Before life, what can you do? After life, what can you do? Nothing, right? So where you want to do it, right? Can't hold on to it, right? So don't own it. Yeah lah, right? So hack also the same thing, right? So, you know, certain things you cannot, right? So like, you know, for example, you know, a lot of people say that, oh, you know, property, you know, is not doing well, you know, whatever it is. Now it's actually about your holding power. Malaysia, just tell you, Malaysia is 15 years behind Taiwan. Our property scene is 15 years behind Taiwan. So, you know, if you take a look at the price of Taiwan, 15 years later, Malaysia will be like, you know, price of Taiwan. Right, so now you tell me, right? So whether you want to hold property or don't want to hold property, you know, can you hold for 15 years? Do you have the firepower to hold for 15 years? Right. So of course, you know, you go and take a look at the location that you're holding. right? So that's the you know, we want to take a look at that's the comparison between Malaysia and so Taiwan is about 15, yeah. Right? So you just take a look at Taiwan's transport network. Our transport network, you know, which transport network, which is the LRT, MRT, whatever T that you want to call it, is actually not as good as Taiwan. You go to Taiwan and take a look, right? So, you know, we only right now only start to do the long railway, where China and Taiwan already has all these 高铁, right? So 高铁 or all this kind of, you know, fast railway system. Right, so we only now started, and next year only our first of our ECRL, you know, railway is gonna be incepted. You know, we don't even know how to run it, this kind of stuff. We are actually quite behind in terms of development. Right, so once that, you know, railway is basically done, then, you know, people are a little bit more mobile, then you will see that, you know, property prices will start to, you know, go back up again. Right, so but next 2 years, please don't need to look at it. You know, property prices not gonna do any well next 2 years. Okay, right. So now holding power, right? In Taiwan, just normal worker rake in for 4.5K salary. No, if you're talking about raking in salary, please just look at Singapore. Yeah, really, man. Singapore, you go there, you know, you get any sort of job, you know, 2 to 3,000 is not a problem. 2 to 3,000 convert back to Malaysia is 10K. Right, so that's why in Malaysia you always see a lot of news saying that, you know, oh, whoever, you know, even doctors, right? So doctors give up, you know, position in Malaysia, you know, just I go there and drive a bus is higher salary than me doing doctors here, which is, yes, because of the, you know, 3.2 exchange rate. What do you want to do? Right, so that's the situation, right? So Singapore did a lot of correct decision. So I always tell Malaysia, actually, you know, if they want to be like Singapore, you know, very easy, you know, just copy all their policy. But our politician too stupid, what to do? So no, they can't do very much, right? So real estate agent are difficult to earn. Yes, that's correct, right? So, you know, real estate agent, you know, a bit difficult to earn, right? So but when they start earning, that time they earn a lot, because their item ticket is very high. You see, the item ticket is very high. You know, they are talking about 800,000, right? 800,000, 1% is 80,000, really. So how? So it's like that, right? So it doesn't mean that real estate business will drop next year. Real estate business won't drop, man. Right? So now there's this point that you need to understand. The economy will never have a crisis because the amount of money will never disappear. So which means that, you know, if there's $1 million in the market right now, right? So no matter what the condition, there's still $1 million in the market. It's just the $1 million right now is flowing to who? That is the problem. What you see is the flowing system going into a jam. It is not an economic crisis. Last time you have this thing called economic crisis is because money is flowing out of the country, man. Right, so money flowing out of your country does not have enough money, and then you are not allowed to simply print money, right? So because money is tied to gold last time money tied to gold, then, you know, there was this guy named Nixon who suddenly come in, oh, no, just kidding, you know, our money is not tied to gold anymore, you know, F it, you know, we can print as much as possible. Then everybody start printing money. From that day onward, right, now I tell you, there's no such thing as economic crisis already, because you can just print yourself out of any problem that you want. And that's what a lot of country has been doing. You know, there's just been printing. You know, some where they're really not valuable, you know, like Venezuela, they print themselves to death. Like US is still printing. So, you know, where got economic crisis from, right? So when I said the real estate, you know, business got problem, you know that right now the real estate is all bought up by a conglomerate. Your real estate that you say that nobody want to buy one, all conglomerate take it. Right? Conglomerate got enough firepower, enough money to keep the place empty until it is needed, right? They got no problem. Problem only you only. Right? One day when it's needed, you know, then they will harvest you. That's always the game, right? So that's always the game for the rich, right? So then, you know, one day you will see nobody is able to own the thing, you know? Then you still need a place to stay, right? What can you do then? You have to rent from them, right? Then, you know, then you get slaughtered. You see that, you know, all the rental. To go and take a look at, you know, Taiwan's rental. Just take a look at the rental market, then you know. Right, so money is a scam, right? They just go print more. Right, not a lot of people know. CapitaLand is in China, in Malaysia. Right, so you see, like, you know, all these conglomerate that has a lot of money and they are, you know, able to just create money. Yeah, they can create money. Right? So money is a very, whatever is it's a very funny thing lah. It's a very funny thing that you can actually create, right? So yeah. Right, so now back to two. Number two is that okay, so that next year you're gonna be rather popular, right? So now rather popular again is two direction. One is you're gonna be worshipped, right? So like the cow, or two, you're actually gonna be thrown into a volcano for sacrifice. Either two is basically good. So you need to learn how to stay grounded. Right, you need to learn how to stay grounded, for yourself. Now, stay grounded mean that you really right now need to ask yourself what is important, what is not important. Right? Is this important? Is that important? This more important? Because you got elegant seal. Now, elegant seal is a very proud energy. Right? Elegant seal is very proud. Now, elegant seal is the umbrella or the canopy that's being used by emperor when emperor goes out. So every time when emperors go out, right, emperor somehow, like vampire, afraid of the sun, right? So any possession, there will be a big umbrella, right? So umbrella is usually the very sophisticated, and more importantly, there's a fella who is designated to hold the umbrella. Right, so that is the important fella, right? So when you talk about elegance, actually the concentration point is this particular fella, right? So this particular fella is a very wise person, because why? His main job is to learn how to shut the mouth, because he's very, very close to the emperor. So when you hold the umbrella, umbrella holder, you are very close to the emperor. So this is like in modern term, it will be Lega Singh's driver, Lega Singh chauffeur. Right, so do you know that Lega Singh chauffeur has never asked for increment in his career? Very funny guy, never asked for increment, and then said, never asked for increment, then he must be paid very poorly. No, he's one of the richest guys as well. Because why? Every single time we sit in the car, right, Lega Singh got any business dealing, talk, right? The share market move one, because Lega Singh has the firepower to move the share market. So what does the fella do? He just go and buy the relevant share. That's why, being the driver of Lega Singh is actually very advantageous, right? So same thing here, with the elegant seal, right? You get a lot of royals information, right? You got a lot of royals information, you become the fella who people revert, right? So yeah, right? So stay grounded, right? So stay grounded is that you really need to sit down right now to take a look at the situation and ask yourself, actually, important question is, at my current juncture, at this current point right now, with everything that is happening, so I don't know current point is what lah. If you are, let's say, you're a 20 over years old chap, your first task is to get your degree. Now, what degree I actually don't care, but you have to go and get your degree, because the degree is the proof that you can take hardship. Yeah, the degree just proof that you can take hardship only. That's all. Because the 3 years that you're supposed to invest into studying, that is a very little amount of hardship as compared to the amount of hardship that you will go through in your actual life. Yeah, you compare to all the hardship that you're going to go through the actual life. Tell me the 3 years in study, for those of you who have already done the studies, is that 3 years difficult? You come back today, you're going to tell that 3 years is the most enjoyable year ever. Wow, I should have. Right? Correct or not? That's the feeling, right? So if you're at that juncture, then studying is important, then you need to stay grounded and go and study lah, so that's what you want to do, right? So that's why you want to do, because you need to do that, you need to know that when the dragon virtual energy come, you're going to apply the dragon virtual energy to what? If let's say that you are the 25-30 years old, career is more important, right? So career is more important, then you should plow your time into building career, building that foundation, building that initial skill set. You have to right? So the initial part of a person's life is actually not to go and start a business. If you straight away go and start a business, usually problem, right? So you start by accumulating your what we call required suffering time, also still suffering, right? So go into the workspace, learn the rule of the workspace, right? Go and learn the rule of the workspace. Maybe when you reach 30-35, relationship become more relevant. Yeah, 30-35, it's a very stable time for you to talk relationship. You already have the financial mindset, right? Too young going to relationship, no use. Too fella doesn't have financial mindset, then when they first hit financial trouble, you will hit financial trouble. They don't know how to handle, break. That's the reason why relationship break is money, right? 90% relationship because of money, because you are arguing about money. And so stay grounded mean that you know where you are lah, so you know where the ground is, right? So don't go and think of something else that is too far away, then you're not doing anything, right? So is Ox getting bad year or what? No lah, Ox is not getting a bad year lah, right? Harong, Ox is actually not getting bad year, right? So the Dragon Virtue is a very strong problem solving star, or what you call a nobleman star, right? Very strong nobleman star. So when you have a very strong nobleman star, right, people tend to, I got the Messiah effect. People tend to think that you can solve their problem, and you happen to miraculously able to solve one or two problems. So that will elevate you to a position of everybody trying to hunt you down. So I don't know that is good or bad, depend on how you do things. But because this particular year it was a fairly normal year for you, so I don't know whether you are prepared for that energy or not. There's always preparation. So this one, normal is from, let's say, from normal to semi good. I would say that are you equipped to drive a much more higher or powerful car? So this one, like normal, you're driving from Malaysia, we say you're driving a MyV, right? So now suddenly, I give you a McLaren F1. You know how to drive. Can you maintain it? Got money to pump petrol? No? You have to ask yourself those kind of questions. Those are grounded. Right? So if you know that, hey, McLaren F1, I really cannot maintain right now. Maybe you want to change to a more maintainable car. You still upgrade your conceal, but upgrade to a level that is more maintainable, right? So which means that when you have the Dragon Virtue, you don't try to Dragon Virtue the world. Sometimes you might, have that particular feeling of, I'm great, right? So that's where stay grounded is. That's where stay grounded. Should designate 2% to hold the big umbrella in case about sunstroke. No, right? So no. In the olden day, again, the emperor is very afraid of getting murdered by people. Right, so that's why the emperor actually doesn't allow anybody to come near, and going out is very difficult, right? So yeah, right. So I like to study, right, before exam. You have to the eagle view of the topic. When work, right, use a little bit of knowledge only. Yeah, right. So and the next thing is, of course, right now I inform you that okay, all this again, it is also the Jade Hall, right? So try not to be greedy. Right, try not to be greedy, right? So try not to be greedy mean that certain investment that has already reached your profit taking point, right? So you already reach your what you call your purpose of the investment, you should exit, right? So this is where, again, back to portfolio alignment. Same thing, portfolio alignment also. If let's say that you got a student, the students already reach a certain stage whereby the fellow need to go out, and eventually you need to let go of the bugger, right? You need to upgrade your driving skill. Not easy to upgrade driving skill, Olga, right? So have you actually tried driving a high power car? Not in control one. The steering wheel, if you pull a little bit, right, it really goes one. It really goes that direction one. Scary, those high powered car. It's not easy to drive, right? So the high power car, and also driving at high speed. It's also not easy. You have to go try, right? So go and try. The temperament of the responsiveness of the car is very different, right? So if you drive the MyV, the steering wheel, no matter how you turn, right, the car also doesn't turn. But you have those, one of those high power Ferrari, you turn a little bit only, the car go everywhere, one away, hello, okay, right? So you need to be careful of that, right? So that's why when power is given to you, the question, can you actually wield the power? Same thing, if I pass Excalibur to your hand, you don't know how to fight, I give you Excalibur, also no use, one, right? So you need to have a certain level of swordsman skill before Excalibur makes sense. Right, normal sword also cannot swing properly. I give you Excalibur. Come on, right? So please, too many people think that it is the external force that causes magical things to happen. No, it's actually the internal force, right? So if you're not ready, give you also no use. So next year, the Ox is pretty awesome. Right? So next year, you know, so next year plan, you know, we talk about it during the next year plan session. Right, when test drive such high power car, in case of accident, claim whose insurance. That's why if you don't have a certain amount of bank account, they don't allow you to test drive. Okay, before you test drive, you have to sign a piece of paper say that you will fully bear any loss. So which means that you must be able to prove that you can buy the car first before they let you test drive. Okay, now you cannot test drive those cars, right? So Ferrari won't let you go and test drive it. No, don't imagine that they will let you test it, right? So yeah, they know about the problem. They know about the problem. So you have to sign a lot of papers, right? So all those kind of things. Right. So now, yeah, this year the ops is pretty what I call uneventful, right? So it's uneventful year this one, you know, unless you get into fight like, you know, White Tiger, you know, at least. Right. So yeah, you know, next year, you know, the fighting physical thing all become emotional hatred. Gaisha, dark sky, all emotional hatred, right? So like you see, you know, you become the, you know, the messiah, you want to say messiah, you know, you become the things to be worshipped, right? So there are going to be people who are going to hate the hell out of you. They come with a package, right? So it come in a package, right? So there are going to be people who worship you, there are going to be people who hate you, normal, right? So even, you know, people like, you know, Donald Trump, right? So Donald Trump, we take a look right now, so, you know, there are people who think that he's great, you know, there are people who think that he's not great. Right, so now question, does it affect him? I don't think so. Right, I don't think it affects him. Right, so no, yeah, right. So that's the preparation that you want to go, right? So if you have investment, heavy investment, if you are those type of people like, you know, doesn't really have a lot of investment, then forget about this portfolio alignment thingy. No need to align your portfolio, right? So these are for those people who have, you know, pretty heavy in terms of their investment portfolio. It's time for you to sit down and, you know, do a lot of the portfolio alignment for yourself, you know, rebalance the portfolio, which one you need to let go, which one, you know, is this year to do, and next year only you do, you know, it's going to be a bit too late. Okay, right? So, you know, then please take a look at, you know, where are the stage of life that you're in, and, you know, you need to think for this particular stage of life, what are the things that you need to build for you to get to the next stage of life. Right? So then, of course, you know, please don't be greedy, right? So pretty simple. Right, very easy, very simple, you know, things for you to do, right? So those are for those of you who have ox inside your chart. So of course, again, you know, if the ox is inside the year, you know, it's usually reputation, network related. If inside the month, then, you know, that would be more, you know, career heavy. If inside in your day, then, you know, you need to manage your relationship. Then, you know, if it's inside the hour, then, you know, it's about your succession, stuff like that. Right? So it's always the same one, right? So it's always the same, you know, on all the particular palace, right? It's all the particular palace there is. Right, so yeah, right, so that's basically it, right? So no, great. Miss your thought whether to go 3 weeks of recce. Yeah, right, so I'll be going off for recce for 3 weeks. I will still again try my best, you know, to see whether can. I think post video should be able to now just record then post, you know, it should be fine, but I don't think doing live is possible. I try to do one. Right, at least try to do one, you know, at the foothill of the mountain before I become the emperor. You know, I will do one of it. Right, so same, get in touch with me, you know, go Telegram, you know, for those of you who want to download the 2026, right? So you go into Telegram, you know, then you press on the channel, there should be a tab that is talking about documents and also file that has been uploaded. So you go to the document files and files. And for those of you who are, you know, just join, you want to find the file, go to the document, and I think you can find the file inside. Right, so Vietnam has internet. I'm not talking about Vietnam, I'm talking about China and the great firewall of information. Right, so when you go into China, right, yeah, right, so if you have a local internet line, it actually doesn't go out. Yeah, all your apps dies in China. Right, so no, yes, right, so then, you know, if you want to read some newsletter, you know, please go and subscribe in Substack, and, you know, you need some community support, right, go and join the Facebook group. Right, so no, yeah, that's my message to you, right? So see you guys, bye.